lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Manny.
And we're talking some new comics that came out this week. And one of the books we were excited to talk about this week was a What If book. I know Manny has been telling me about some of the recent ones that have come out. I haven't checked them out for whatever reason, but I wanted to check this one out, which is What If Dark, the Tomb of Dracula. So these dark ones have been coming out recently.
Yeah.
And it's not even like they've been coming out weekly. They've been coming out almost sporadically, it feels like. But
yeah.
But I love
it's
Blade.
Cool.
I love Blade. And
Same.
really was stoked on this one. And like the whole premise is like Blade becoming a vampire instead of just being like the half vampire, half human. And we get Marv Wolfman coming back to write the issue, and David Cutler on art, Scott Hanna, Antonio Fabella as well. It's fun because, like, first of all, I love the What If issues. I know, I feel like, have we recorded a What If issue before together?
I think we did What If Wolverine became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No. We did the Conan one.
Yes, we did. That's right. Yes.
We want to do the Wolverine Shield one, but we haven't done that one. It was the Conan one. And
yes, I remember.
I don't even know if we've posted it. We've recorded it, so it's there somewhere. It'll post soon. Maybe I'll post it next week now that I've talked about it. But it's just cool to kind of see where, like, sometimes what I like about What If is that it'll take a moment and then it turns, right? So it's like it doesn't start off different. It's just it'll start the same in some ways, and then boom, the change is done, and then we get to see where it goes from there. So it's different than like what DC does with Elseworlds, but I love getting to see different versions of.
And these dark ones have been like they really have gone to some dark places. Like one of my favorites was What If Dark Carnage, which was Larry Hama and John McCrara. That single issue might even make one of my best of the year issues. I thought it was so much fun. So like, there's a lot of fun to be had with these, and like you said, they're sporadic. They're done in one, so like they're just a fun little book to pick up, man. That you don't have to worry about any heavy continuity, and they usually pick things in Marvel that you don't need to know a lot about Marvel even to enjoy them. You just need to know who Blade is to really enjoy the comic. You don't.
What's really crazy is Marv Wolfman hasn't written for Marvel in a very long time. And
I know.
I was doing some research because I was able to chat with him recently, and I didn't bring it up why, but then I started looking into it, and he like sued them because of Blade, saying that he never signed something signing his rights away to that character or whatever, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but it was during the Blade movies, and he lost, obviously, and because of that he hasn't worked there. So kind of cool to see him come back to this character, which I think is one of the runs he's most known for, his Tomb of Dracula run. So it's not one that I've read a ton of, but I'll be honest with you, I was listening to Rob's Observations recently, so I picked up an essential Tomb of Dracula.
I was gonna do the same. I listened to the same. Yeah, when he did his Halloween episode, which was great.
He's got a good way of hyping up a book that I should already own, but I don't, or maybe even some single issues, like storylines that I don't know about. And I was like, okay, I got to pick this up. And I picked up the final issue of Tomb of Dracula as well to kind of check it out. This version of Dracula is unique in a way that's like, it's kind of like when we talked to Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner, right? Like everybody kind of does their own version. This isn't necessarily the version that you read about in the novel, right? It's not the one you see in the film. So it is definitely his own version, and he put
it's Marvel's version, and Dracula has become a big player in the Marvel universe. I mean, there was one of Jason Aaron's Avengers story arcs was all about Dracula. I mean, he was a big part of the X-Men run for a while.
How about that Deadpool run when Deadpool stole his wife, dude?
That's right. There's that. He Jubilee became a vampire at one point. So like, I mean, he has a precedence in the Marvel universe other than just being a gimmick. He's pretty integral at times.
Yes. So it's interesting. So he's going after Harker, right?
Yeah, and this is Quincy Harker, which is the son of Jonathan and Mina Harker from the novel.
We get this, and then it's the What If. So as he's on his way, he's stopped, and he gets the scent of this woman, and he goes to attack her, and this is where things change. Because the old guy that jumps out and tries to, or well, he does stop Dracula from eating her, so he bites him instead. He's like, "Oh, your blood's anemic, but it'll do its job." And now it's time for me to do mine. And he goes off, and you just see him. I love this too, like the 4 panels on the bottom, how he slowly
Yeah.
gets up and then just drops, and
And then he gets a
and
phone call. Yeah.
yeah, gets woken up, and he's Deacon Frost, right? Is that his
I
first
mean,
name?
he's got the last name. Yeah, he's got the last name. So yeah, I think he is supposed to be a Frost.
So he comes in, and we're at, I mean, they're at a whorehouse, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and who's there but Vanessa, Blade's
yeah.
mom, and he
Blade's
just
mom. Yeah.
fucking attacks her. Obviously, as history or as it plays out in the regular continuity, this is how Blade is born. I love, dude. I first of all, I love what Marvel's been doing with these opening like things. DC's been doing it too with their double page with like the logo and like very
Yeah,
simple.
like what they do with World's Finest and
Yeah,
stuff.
but I love what they did with this one. The blood splatter.
Yeah.
They should really do a Dracula or a Blade, black, white, and blood. I don't know why that hasn't already
You know
happened.
what? That is absolutely a
Like
great idea.
to me, it's like that should have been done before Moon Knight. It should have been done before Elektra. I mean, Deadpool, I can understand, and
Yeah.
Wolverine, but these are the logical choices of doing it.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think people would love it too.
Yeah,
Creators would love to take a stab at it. No pun intended.
yeah,
So
and
yeah, so then we get Blade being born, and then 27 years later.
I have to say, I love that they actually went with Blade's original costume, which I always thought was corny as fuck, but it actually doesn't look that bad here, And this whole
No,
team of
no.
vampire hunters, we got a Van Helsing in there.
Yeah, you got Rachel Van Helsing, you got Frank Drake, and then you got Quincy Harker with his souped up wheelchair with vampire killing
Shoots spikes.
weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
shoot
the
spikes.
shit stakes. I mean, the
Yeah,
stakes.
he's
And
got
then look,
glasses on because he's sensitive to light after fighting Dracula for so long. So like,
dude, how
yeah,
about
because
this?
Quincy sort of became like a big time vampire hunter trying to rid the world of Dracula.
Have you read a lot of Tomb of Dracula?
When I was a kid, I used to have like a stack of them, and I know
Oh,
I read
nice,
them. Yeah,
nice.
I that my cousin had, and I was always fascinated by the idea of Dracula in the Marvel universe. And I remember I had the handbook of the Marvel universe that had Dracula like like profile in it, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to obsess over that one too, like looking at the panels. I remember one panel of Colossus punching Dracula and Dracula just holding like stopping the fist with his hand,
That's
and
awesome,
that's seared in my mind. So yeah,
dude.
I, I was a fan.
We should definitely talk about some of those original issues, like the Gene Colan. Like, we'll pick some from that essentials and like just read through
I'm
it that
down.
way.
I'm super down for that, man.
I love this here, this plate of or the panel with Blade, and you don't see him, but he's like throwing this knife, and it's a wood knife.
Yeah,
I didn't pick up on
it's
that when I was reading it the first time, if I'm being completely
not
honest.
me neither. Actually, you pointing it out now was the first time I noticed it. And but that's awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And look at all the like I love the just all these like like Nosferatu like vampires that he just kills. Like he's already showing you like how much of a badass he is. And
Hmm.
the other vampire hunters are they're not left far behind, man. Like
I
they're
love how Dracula's like crawling on the ceiling. I smell my blood
yes.
in you, human. Pass from that white-haired butcher to your slut of a mother, then finally to you. Like, dude, he's throwing so much shade. The fucking Blade's
Yeah, dude.
right.
Yeah. And I mean, in the comics, I mean, Dracula was always talking mad shit. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
one of the things that made him such a fun character.
Yeah, look at this. Like he's even as he's fighting him, he's like, you're stronger than human, but you'll never be able to stop me. You're never gonna be more powerful. And I gotta say,
Vampire
dude,
Slayer.
again, this outfit that Blade's wearing, dude, they really did a good job of not making it as corny as it looked.
Yeah, and it just it seems real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this is obviously Blade like early on, like before he really has like any kind of high tech weaponry or anything. Like he's but these are probably homemade stakes, homemade knives.
Yeah.
The jacket is like a repurposed army jacket. He's got like just a simple cross. Like it's cool, man. It's not the Blade that we're used to seeing nowadays.
Right.
So it makes it a much more interesting character for the story, I think.
I like
I
this.
love this shot of the vampire
So
hunters. Like,
good. Yeah.
yeah, man, like, and just the way that, Rachel Van Helsing, then you have Eric Brooks, Blade, Frank Drake, Quincy Harker. Like, what a great cinematic image, like I can just see, if this were a movie, I could see them like busting the door down and like, what's up,
Mm-hmm. And I like, he's like, what makes you think I'm alone? And then Harker shoots those fucking wood
Yeah,
shards.
dude.
They're not even stakes, they're wood shards at Dracula, and he just like, this isn't over, and he flies away. I love the way they draw him in, like, he's not fully transformed in like a bat creature, but like halfway. I really like the way he
Yes,
looks visually like this.
same, man. Yeah. I've never really seen any art by David Cutler, but he's good, man. He's solid superhero stuff here. Lots of
Yeah.
energy. He's really good at the action scenes. I like the looseness of the art too here. Like
Yeah. I like how they don't really tell us how much time has passed. Like before, they told us there was a time jump of 27 years. Here we just don't know.
yeah,
I'm assuming it's like current time is the only thing
yeah,
I could think of. And I love how we just see the view of Dracula against the moon, and he's just like, warriors come to me, and he's calling all his vampire minions to him, and they're just feeding on everybody, dude.
yeah. What a great scene. I mean, like again, very cinematic and like I love this idea of all these bat creatures just swooping down on everybody.
This face looks very Gene Colan to me too. Like he definitely,
Oh yeah, totally, man. I mean, I think that's, like you said, probably a conscious effort to sort of invoke Gene.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Gene Colan, like Marv Wolfman didn't write every issue. He came on with issue 7. I think Jerry Conway wrote the first 6 issues, but Gene
Hmm.
Colan drew every single issue of that run. And that's so
Yeah,
rare,
man.
dude. You never hear
It was
that.
like what, 70 issues or
Yeah,
something
you
like
you
that. Like
never hear of artists being on a book that long. It's like everybody just jumps ship now, it seems
shit,
like.
man. The last thing I can remember is maybe Mark Bagley on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
about
Jorge
100.
Jimenez has been on Batman for a while, but he's not even doing
Yes.
every arc. Like
No.
he's
Yeah.
so very cool to like just to call that out. I love this
And
too. I wish they
yeah.
didn't put this page right here. That's the only complaint. I wish this would have been the page turn where you see
Yeah.
that right
Yes.
here. Like
Yeah.
switch the
Maybe
ad, dude.
flip it with the ad. Put the ad on this side, and then put, yeah.
Missed
And I
opportunity.
also want to point out that I love that it's Christmas. Like
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of when you combine horror with Christmas.
Yes.
Like Gremlins and like Silent Night, Deadly Night, stuff like that. And like it's just fun, and it's like we're in November, so like it kind of works.
I love this too.
And
It's
it's, yeah, now we have Blade with a more modern sort of like trench coat and like the sword.
the narration is so good too, where he's like, I've ordered my slaves to lure him to me. Yes, one by one he will slaughter them, even as they lead him ever closer to me. But they are merely fodder, reborn only to die. The Dampier is closer now. The Dampier is here. And then boom, takes the bite of him.
I know, man. What a cool moment.
Yeah. Dude, Marv Wolfman's one of the best writers in all of comic book history, dude. Like,
Agreed,
and
man.
he's
I mean,
still got it, dude. So really cool. I love this. And then even here where he comes to his, I'm assuming his girlfriend. Because
that's what I thought.
yeah, because I don't know the character very well, but like he turns her into a vampire. And then
I like
that's
the
like,
record on the coffee table. Like I can't tell. I think that's either Isaac Hayes or Marvin Gaye, but that's kind of a nice touch.
I think that's Marvin Gaye.
I think so too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what's going on.
Nice call out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I didn't
think
notice
yeah.
that. And look at this, dude. I'm here to kill you slowly and painfully. No, you're the one who will die, Blade. So he's like not even, he's fighting it. So he's not even Dracula's servant. And then even Blade, dude, when he transforms, he looks way different than the way
Yeah.
Dracula looks. Like he's got almost like I don't want to say a flatter face, but his face is like more stretched out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love this, dude. And then the two of them just like fighting above New York.
Yeah, like in their like baddish kind of forms.
Calls him Fangs. Calls Dracula Fangs as he's fighting him. You don't control me, Fangs. And he's not going to give up, dude. Even though Dracula makes his escape and flees, Blade's not going down without a fight. He's going to take him out. So now more time has passed, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see it. So he's been hunting him for a while, or I don't know how much time. I'm just assuming basically.
I think a big, because I think the takeaway is like the glasses that Blade is wearing changed. You know what I mean? He went from the red tint. Now he's got like So
Yeah.
obviously some time has passed because he even
Yeah.
has a like different haircut.
The armor on his, like, if you look at those two, right? Like,
Yeah,
his jacket's different. It looks more like I think what he has now in the current Blade comics. I'm
yeah,
not reading it, so I don't know. But he's recruiting the team again, dude. You know,
yeah,
he has to swear to them because like he's basically what they're fighting against. So he has to
yeah,
convince them that like, no, I'm in control.
yeah,
he has no
yeah.
sway
Because
over me.
now he needs to feed and like really feed and like so there are things that he's got to do now that they are probably weary of. And then again, there's the idea that at any point Dracula could exert control over him like he can over any other vampire. It's
Yeah.
probably like a constant struggle for him at this point.
Dude, how cold is Dracula in this scene here too?
He cracks the neck.
Yeah, dude, she's like, ignore them, master. They're worthless, but I worship you. And he's just like,
Yeah,
because you know your place. And then she's like, still talking, useless sycophant, and boom, snaps the neck.
yeah.
And dude, he's
I
ready.
love
He's
this
ready
too.
for
All of
Blade,
you come,
dude.
our enemies are at the gate. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. See, this is the page turn right here. This is what they should have
Yes.
done with Blade, where he opens the door and then boom, Blade's standing atop all of
Dude,
these
like
dead
yeah, dude, like
vampires.
what a badass. Because I mean, now he's even more powerful, And I love the pointy ears that you see on him, like in that bottom panel, like he's starting to like vamp out a little bit.
Yeah, you're starting to see the change for sure. Like even in
Yeah,
his hands are starting to get like almost claw-like if you look really
yeah,
close. And his fangs are
yeah.
turning to.
Nice, yeah, nice little touches by Cutler on there.
I love this too. As just the taunting that Dracula's doing, that he's like, fill your blood. It's filling with rage. And like you're one step closer to becoming more and more one of my undead. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love this, dude. Like this is it's such a great way. Have Blade become the vampire, but still stay true to the core of who the character is, because he's not
Yeah,
gonna just like become an evil character now. And he takes
yeah,
Dracula out. This is where you see the hero that Blade really is, because like I don't think necessarily people think like, oh, Blade's a hero. I think maybe
yeah.
more
He
anti-hero.
decapitated him. That's so awesome.
But since you have an annoying habit of returning from the grave, and then he stops talking and he calls his team, dude, and he's like, I'm ready when you are. And he sacrifices himself, dude, because he doesn't want to
Blade, are you
become
sure?
full
Yeah, I
vampire.
love. Yeah, I love that moment.
Just completely blows it up. And
Yeah,
then,
because yeah, because like I think the idea here is like he's been fighting this whole change for a while now until he could kill Dracula,
yeah,
and he doesn't want to become a full blown vampire. So boom.
great ending, dude.
Again, it's just a fun, quick little story, man. Like
Yeah.
definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I kind of want to go see if my shop has any of the other what ifs.
Yeah,
Now
the
I'm
Carnage one is definitely worth
I'm
it.
kind of regretting not picking the other ones up, but whatever.
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyways,
again, Marvel doesn't seem to be really marketing these too much, so it's hard to know when they're coming out and stuff.
yeah, for sure. But definitely worth picking up. Go check it out. Hit up your shop, pick up the issue, and seek out some of the other ones. I'm sure they're just as good as this one, because this one was a ton of fun. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.
We'll catch you next time, guys.